Your presentation must make the new recruit and trainee feel like it's simple and easy and that they can do it. That's why the more information, the more scary it gets for the recruit who's watching, and it also makes it difficult for the client to make a decision because you overwhelm them with information. Either way, it's a negative thing, right? You've got to be very, very careful about keeping it super, super simple. If your presentation is too complex with too much information, it creates two problems. It overwhelms the prospect, your recruiting, and the client. It creates fear and doubt in the recruit that they can't do Primerica and has a difficult time understanding if too much information is presented. The point of the presentation, this is the whole point of a presentation, okay, is to motivate the new recruit to want to join, or at a minimum learn more about our opportunity, and for the client to want to do an F&A and become a client. That's the point of a presentation. It's to move people in a direction. It's to move them to action. That's the point of any presentation. Your op night is the point of an op night is to move people to join our business and get involved. Every presentation has a purpose behind it, okay? It's to move people. Even setting an appointment is a presentation. When you are attempting to set an appointment with somebody, what you're really trying to do is move the person to meet with you. So if I call up Gary Cornegay, right? And Rick Susie referred me to Gary, I call up Gary. This is what I would do. I'd say, hey, hi Gary, this is Hector LaMarque. We have a mutual friend in Rick Susie. You know Rick, right?
Yeah, of course. That's
Okay.
my buddy.
Anyways, I was meeting with Rick and Michelle earlier, and I was able to help them pretty dramatic their financial situation. I was able to show them how to get out of debt in the next 10 years. It looks like we're going to save about $80,000 in interest. It looks like they're going to be able to retire 5 or 10 years sooner than they were on pace to before. And they're just in a much, much better shape. They have more money because we reduced their debt as well. And so when I talked to them about this, about talking to other people, they told me that you were the kind of person that if you could get out of debt really quickly, much faster than you're on pace to, and you could save more money and you could make more money, that you were the kind of person that would be motivated to do that. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Great. Well, then we need to get together. What day's better for you? I've got Wednesday or Thursday open. Which day works better for you?
Thursday probably better.
Thursday. Fantastic. That's how I would do it. So how I do it is I tell him what's going to happen, what he's going to get. So if I'm telling him that he's going to get out of debt sooner, he's going to save a bunch of money, he's going to be retire sooner, I'm going to tell him in advance what he's going to expect from me meeting with me, because I want him motivated to meet with me, okay? The way you motivate people to do anything is you tell them what's in it for them. What are they going to get? Same thing when you're recruiting somebody. What's in it for them joining, right? Doubling their income, having more freedom, whatever. But whatever it is, the whole key to setting an appointment is to make the people feel motivated to meet with you because they're going to get what they want. That's the psychological part of setting an appointment with another person. They've got to feel like not meeting with you is going to cost them. It's going to be a mistake. You with me? So you've got to present it in such a way that they feel like they're making a mistake by not meeting with you. That's all. That's the trick to setting appointments. So if the actual presentation you use is not as important as its effectiveness to motivate people to go ahead, if you aren't motivating a high percentage of people to go ahead, then you need to look at your presentation. So if your presentation is not moving people to buy or join, then you need to revisit it. Take a look at it again, right? See if it's really doing what I just said. Is it inspiring them to want to move forward because it's going to give them what they want? I don't know. You've got to make sure it does, though. Okay. By improving this skill, which is presenting, your confidence that you could actually do Primerica succeed will soar. When you feel confident we can do something, we are much more likely to put the effort forward to do that thing. It's true. When you can do something, you're more apt to do it. The one thing I hated more than anything was being rejected. So when I was starting with, I didn't like being rejected. I got into sales. I didn't like being rejected. I hated being rejected. It feels horrible to be rejected. I know how that feels, and I didn't like it at all, okay? So what I did is I started listening to Tom Hopkins. You've heard me say this a million times, but I literally did this. I listened to How to Master the Art of Selling Anything, those 12 tapes, 2 hours a day, at least 5 days a week for 3 straight years. So I got really, really good at doing what I just showed you, asking questions and doing that. I got really comfortable with it. It was real easy for me, right? And so what ended up happening, 2 things happened, right? So I did that by mastering how to overcome rejection. It allowed me to become really confident, right? With the added benefit of reducing the rejection radically, because I learned the art of asking questions. So I didn't get very much rejection because I got so good at doing that. And so I hardly experience any rejection. Very rarely would I get like rejected out of hand, okay? Now, I might have to work and stuff like that, but it wasn't just like, a straight out rejection. At least I got people engaged. I didn't close everybody, but I closed a really high percentage of people, right? And so that's the key to this whole thing. That's why mastering that's so important. We get rejected most often because our skill level is too low. Like, do you ever get calls from your people where they went on an appointment and they had cash value insurance and everything, and they go, well, I didn't close them. Does that ever happen to you guys? Huh? And you're thinking, holy cow, if I'd have been on that point, that'd have been done. I would have closed them, slam dunk, no problem. The difference between you and them is the skill level. Their skill level causes them to lose sales and lose recruits. Your skill level causes you to close more sales and close more recruits. It's very simple, right? It's not a complex issue we have here to build a big business. So as you raise your skill level in anything, that it gets easier and easier and actually becomes fun. I got to the point where objections and the challenge of overcoming them, was actually fun for me. It used to be like a game for me. I'd go in there and say, I wonder what they're going to throw at me tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun. That's how I felt about it. I didn't feel like, oh, I hope they don't ask me this or ask me that, or, I never felt that. I just like, let's go have some fun and see what happens. Because I knew if they were rational people, I could get them to go ahead. Now, sometimes you meet irrational people, and it doesn't matter what you tell them, you can't get them to do anything. But those are an aberration. That doesn't happen that often. It happens, but not that often, right? So when you know how to do it professionally, objections are merely an amusement. I tell people, listen to the Overcoming Objections CD 100 more times. I really mean that, over and over and over. So you get the kind of the way to ask the question, the tonality, the feeling behind it. That's why you have to hear it over and over, so you just get it and you know how to do it, right? Because it seems like, you've been on a point and you know the objection, it starts coming out, and as soon as it comes out, you're just going, and you're listening. That makes sense. And then you know exactly what you're going to do, right? You don't have to go, okay, what do I say now? What do I say next? Doing that, you just know exactly what to do. But your people are sitting there, okay, what do I say now? How do I say this? What do I say next? Oh my God, I forgot. Oh, and their brain freezes, right? And they can't close, right? That's why the repetition is so important, right? Like I talked about Tiger, the 8 hours a day, 4 days in a row versus, the same 32 hours in 15 years. Big difference, okay? Big difference. All right? Until you can reflexively overcome the most common objections, you will never be a great trainer, and you'll slow down your progress. So just commit to do it. That's what you should tell people. You just got to do it. How long is it going to take for you to do it? I don't know how long it's going to take. Whatever it takes is what it takes. You just got to do it though, right? This is the fifth thing. You got to master life insurance, mutual funds, and SMART. Not just life insurance, not just SMART, not just mutual funds. All of them. You got to master all of them. Those of you that have the most well-rounded business, you make the most money. In Primerica, it's that simple. You got a well-rounded business, right? You kick butt in your base shop. You kick butt with the life and the security. You're going to make the most money. It's simple, right? So you must know how each of these products works inside and out, up and down in every detail. Why? Because to be able to teach them, to be able to share the features and benefits, to motivate people to buy them, you have to know how they work so you can explain them clearly. If you can't explain things in a clear way so that the client or the potential recruit understands it, they're going to be having a little doubt, a little fear about going forward. When people, I was talking to one of my aides, that Jose kid on the way. I said, look, when you don't close, he had a life sale where he went and he tried to close the first time, he couldn't close, he had to come back. And I asked him, I said, Jose, if those people understood how cash value worked like you understood how it worked, would they have kept it? He said, no, of course not. So then therein lies the problem. You weren't able to articulate to them exactly how it worked so they could understand it, so they couldn't make the change. They never understood it. It's the same thing true with a smart loan. If you ever have people go on a smart loan that looks slam dunk, it should go ahead, but they don't close it, guess what? They weren't able to explain it to the prospective client in such a way that the client could understand it and feel comfortable to go ahead and feel like they were making the right choice. It's the same thing with mutual funds. When people are afraid to invest money, if you can't articulate how mutual funds work so that the client feels comfortable, this is a really good choice, I need to do this, they're not going to do it. So if you know the products inside and out, then it's going to be easier for you to close more sales. And if you can do that and you have trainees next to you and they're watching you do that, they're going to be much more apt to do that as well. More importantly, you're going to be a great trainer and you're going to be able to train people on how to do it. And you're going to get them when they're out and about closing more transactions. If they close more transactions, guess what? They make more money, right? Everything works to your advantage in that way. It's just a simple thing, but you know what? Most people don't pay enough attention to that. Okay? So you got to recruit the right people. You must be able to articulate why joining us and offering the products we do will lead to helping people radically improve their financial lives. The better you know our products, the more confident you'll be when presenting them. People buy your self-confidence about what you're offering more than anything else. Assuming the product actually does what it says it does, in our case it does, people buy your self-confidence. People buy that you know what you're doing, that you know where you're going, that this makes sense. It's just a total different way of being. We follow people that are that are self-confident. If I was up here going, well, I think this works, you're not going to follow that. You're not going to get inspired by that. You're going to get inspired by somebody that just, even if I was wrong, if I come across like I know what the hell I'm talking about, this is the way it is, right? You're much more apt to follow that than if I'm lack confidence. The problem with most people, why they can't grow teams and develop other people and become RVPs, is because they have such low self-confidence. The people that they're recruiting can feel it. And it's hard for them to commit to that person. Does that make sense? So that's why your self-confidence, self-confidence of your teammates is so important, so that they're gonna be much more attractive to the people they're trying to recruit. And they're gonna be much more able to build a team if they have a lot of self-confidence. All of you that are doing well, guess what? You guys have a lot of self-confidence when it comes to Primerica, which is why you're able to build decent base shops and make money and grow and do well, right? And people that don't have it, they can't do that. They can't attract the right kind of people, right? So you'd be shocked at how many sales and recruits are missed because our agents don't know our products well enough. I guarantee you it happens so much, it's like frightening how much it's costing all of you and all of us. That we have so many people out there that don't know what the hell they're doing. Happens every day in Primerica. Right? And in other hierarchies, it's even worse, right? So, as a result, they can't get recruits and clients to understand how fantastic products and how they help the right people. The people we should and would like to recruit want to feel that the products we're offering people they care about will change their life and help them in a significant way. So when you're recruiting the right kind of people, what they want to know is that if I take you to see my brother, my best friend, my coworker, whatever, I want to know that it's going to be really good for them. And their life's going to be enhanced by us visiting them. And then we're not going to try to coerce them into buying something they don't want or need. That's what the new recruit wants to feel, right? They want to feel that. They want to feel that this is really great. Well, the way you do that is you make sure they understand how this thing works, right? And what the products are and what they do for people, and give them some examples. I think the best thing you could do, the absolute best thing you do, is take 2 or 3 of your very best F&As that you've done on really good clients where you've done a decent life sale, maybe a smart loan and some investments with them. And then you take the F&A and then you do like a 1-page synopsis of the F&A. So you have the 1-page synopsis of the F&A with the F&A. You don't show them the F&A because it's too confusing, right? And even when you go back and present an F&A, if I were presenting F&As, I would have the F&A and I have a 1-page synopsis of the F&A, and I would say, this is your F&A, but that's a lot of information and it's going to confuse you. Let me show you bottom line what you're going to get by implementing this F&A. And then I'd go step by step by step and show them exactly what they're going to get bottom line. You're going to close more sales that way. You're going to get people to see that. More importantly, when you're trying to recruit somebody, if you just show them, let me just show you, Jay, 2 or 3 clients that we sat down, we helped. Look at this one right here. We did this, this, and this, and then let me show you this one, this, and this. Now let me ask you, Jay, if you could sit down with all your friends and neighbors and relatives and everybody and do this for them, can you think of any reason why you wouldn't want to do that, especially if you could really help them in this way and then make money at the same time? No. Bottom line, if I was going to have him build a house for me, he's an architect, right? I'd want to see the plan, right? And then I want to see what's the budget, what's the bottom line this is going to cost me to do this, okay? And how long is this going to take, right? And pictures, right? Exact picture of the end, exactly. The better you could picture the end, the better. If you could show me, that's why architects do models of homes. That's why they do the drawings on computers with CADs where they can actually show you the finished product before they do it. If you ever watch those design shows, they go and they show the house on computer, how it's going to look after they do it. That's what allows people to go forward, where they could visualize what's going to happen if I do business with you, right? What's going to happen? What's going to happen if I join your business? What am I going to get? What kind of money can I make? That's what they want to know, bottom line. You go to get your taxes done, you don't want to know how they came up with the number. You just want to know, what's the bill? How much did you save me, right? You get your car worked on, you don't go sit down with the mechanic and say, okay, walk me step by step what you did here on my car. No, you don't do that. You just look at the bill and you say, how much is it? Is it working? Boom, see you later, right? You don't want to know every damn detail. That's why really smart people struggle so much in Primerica, is they can't get over not giving the details, right? And it screws them up, totally screws them up, right? You scare people. All right, 6, master recruiting across, you're almost done here. Master recruiting across the kitchen table. If you're going to build a business for your new recruit, you must master recruiting across the kitchen table. You will lose new recruits if you do not build them a team during the field training process. So if I'm recruiting, if I'm recruiting Mark and Sue, right, the bottom line is if I can get in their market and get them talked into going on a bunch of appointments and I can recruit 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people, I'm going to lock them in. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. If I can't, but if I suck at recruiting across the kitchen table and they take me on a bunch of appointments and we write some sales, but we don't recruit anybody, guess what? They're out of here. They're gone. Okay, so anybody that becomes an RVP is pretty damn good at recruiting across the kitchen table or you wouldn't be one. And all your people have to get good at that too if they're going to become one. It's the way you control your future is through being able to do that. You can't control your future if you can't do that consistently well. You can't do it, all right? So by mastering recruiting across the kitchen table, you're going to inspire new recruits. They will see how it's possible to build a sales force. So if I take Mark and 10, 15 sales and we recruit 3 or 4 or 5 people, he's going to go, that's how you do it. Now I can see how you can recruit people. And then you get their list and then you get them out in the field. And now I can see how this actually works. Instead of some op night that's totally just a theoretical thing, right? They can see that it actually works. And that's what gets a new recruit most excited, is seeing success in the home where it actually matters, right? That's what gets people pumped up. That's what used to get me pumped up. I got pumped up every time I closed a transaction, recruited somebody across the kitchen table, did anything. And it got me excited, re-excited. They'll learn how to recruit, sell, and build through observing you. This will also lead to limitless appointments since each new recruit has a warm market that they too will need to be trained in, right? So if I recruit 4 or 5 people and we do a good job of getting a list, we can say we get 25 names per recruit. That's 125 potential people to see. If I do a great job of teaching them how to set appointments, then we're going to have just tons of people to see, right? I mean, it's going to be all kinds of people. But if you drop the ball here, then it's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. You'll never become a great RVP unless you become a great at recruiting across the kitchen table. Every appointment potentially becomes an opportunity to grow your business when you're a master of recruiting across the kitchen table. Like if you really understand Primerica, the point of doing an appointment is not just to close sales. That's going to happen if it makes sense. The point is to use that as an opportunity to grow your business by recruiting them and getting them excited about joining. That's the point. The point is to grow your business. Every appointment I went on was a recruiting appointment. Did I recruit everybody? Of course not. Did I even want to recruit everybody? Of course not. But every time I went, there was the potential for that. See, and that's what I was thinking about. Closing the sale was a foregone conclusion for me. I knew I was going to do that if it made sense. I wasn't hoping to close a sale, Neil. Were you? Are you like, you hope? I don't even worry about that. That's going to happen. My more interested, is this a viable recruit? Is he married, children, homeowner? Does this person have a good warm market? Do they have credibility? If they do, I'm going to shoot them with 20 barrels to get them excited about doing the business, right? Because this is a winner here that I could turn into something, right? So that's what it becomes. Every appointment becomes that. That's why you as RVP should be in the field, not to write sales. Look, you've written enough sales in your career. You don't need to write another sale, but you need to recruit a bunch of more people, and you need to teach people how to do that and how to grow a business. That's the reason you need to be in the field, not to write sales. It's to teach people how to build their own business. That's the point. You are trainers. You are developers of people. That's what you're going to get paid big money for, Chuck, is to develop a bunch of Chuck Negretes. He did 30 grand a year base last, a little over 30, right? Now, if you have 10 people direct to you that are RVPs do you think you're doing something so impossible that you couldn't teach another person to do that right now? Okay, so let's say over the next 5 years, you find 10 people that you can get them to that level of success that you currently have right now. You're at 300,000 plus through first. You're making probably $2 million a year at this thing. That's not that far away. 5 years is nothing. 5 years goes by like that, right? But if that's not your intention, if your intention is just to close sales to make money, guess what? You'll never develop those RVPs. You'll never find them because you won't be looking for them. You're looking to make money, not to build a business. That's the problem for most Primericans and RVPs, is that's what they do. Because think of it this way, right? Because I haven't got to 7, I'm almost there. But imagine you had 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 people in your base shop that really, actually, truly master these things. What would happen? Oh my God, it'd be unbelievable. That'd be you times 10. right? Which is what you really want, isn't it? Okay. So look, people will gravitate to anything that they believe will allow them to get what they really want. That's what we all do. All of us do that, right? We gravitate to what we believe will give us what we want. The more clearly you show them how great the need is for what we do, how it makes a huge difference in the lives of the people they meet with, this will allow them to easily see the connection that through offering our products and opportunity, they can build a great business that will allow them to get what they want. That's the whole key. The better you get at painting the picture, and this is the key, you got to paint the picture for people. You got to look, you got to be selling all the time, you guys. You got to be like selling, and then selling some more, right? You got to sell your tail off to get people to do anything, right? So the better you get at painting the picture of how they will get what they want through starting their Primerica business, the easier it's going to get to recruit them. People's reluctance in getting involved, Frank, is the result of them not believing they can do it. So if I'm talking to Gary about getting involved, I'm going to say, Gary, look, I know you. I know that you're really motivated. You want a much better lifestyle than you got. I mean, you're interested in the music business. Obviously, you've run around and run across people that have been highly successful, right? I mean, you've talked to me about that, some of the things that you've done in the past.
Right.
You've met some people that are really successful. I'm assuming you want to be like them in terms of the success factor. Is that correct?
Of course.
Okay. So let me just tell you, if you get involved with me, based on what I showed you, how our business works, how the products are phenomenal, aren't they?
Oh, yeah,
Our loan
absolutely.
product's phenomenal, our life insurance product's phenomenal, our investment product, our whole F&A system, our ability to help people is really an incredible thing. Obviously, the market's gigantic because nobody's serving that market at all. I mean, the middle market is completely ignored by the financial service industry. I mean, we got a corner on that market because nobody else is doing exactly what we're doing. I mean, it's like having the only gas station in town. Nobody sells gas, but you do. I mean, what would that be like? I mean, it would be incredible. It'd be fantastic. Well, that's what Primerica's like because nobody's doing this F&A stuff. Nobody's doing this for that market.
Right.
Nobody's offering a package like we're doing it. We're the only game in town. And then if you build a team, if we, like I showed you, if you get those 10 people where they do, 20 or 30,000 a month in premium, like I showed you, and I would maybe show them that again, right? And we just see if you find those people, those 10 motivated people, this is a potential $1 million plus income. And you're a sharp enough person and you've got enough charisma and you're the kind of person that I know that if I taught you how to do this, you could find those people and then I'll help you develop them. I'll teach you what to do. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you really pay attention to me and you follow my lead and you do what I teach you to do and you really are disciplined in that over the next 3 to 5 years, I could help you get to that place where you have the potential to make $1 million or more a year. You have that kind of opinion. You're that kind of guy. Now, when I talk to other people, I don't say that to everybody because not everybody has that, but you are that person.
Right.
You do have that ability. All you have to do is decide, do you want that or not?
Of course I do. Absolutely.
Okay, then we need to get started then, buddy.
Right.
Let's get your list going. Let's go. Now, if I had a sharp person like Gary, that's how I would talk to him. I would talk to him like that, and I'd paint the picture of what's going to happen 3 or 5 years from now, and I'm going to show him how he's going to get there. And I'm going to actually show him how the process works, right? How our products work, why our products make sense, why this whole thing makes sense. Because people want this, they need this. We're better than what everybody else does. Nobody else does. The fact is nobody else does what we do. Have you not noticed that yet? Huh? We're the only game in town. It's incredible, right? You need to sell that feature. That feature's amazing from a business standpoint. Most businesses are competing like crazy with other people. The truth is, you're not competing with anybody because nobody does what we do exactly. Now, a lot of people sell life insurance, but we don't just sell life insurance. A lot of people do loans, but we don't just do loans. And a lot of people sell investments, but we don't just do investments. We do all of it, and we put a package and a plan together. No one else does that. Nobody. When was the last time you ran across a comprehensive financial plan that a client of yours had, that you sat down with? It never happens because it's not available other than through us. Exactly. So why don't you sell that? That's a huge benefit and feature of our opportunity. That's what makes us viable, you guys. It's what makes us special. So you got to paint the picture. This is why you must clearly sell what we do, show how simple it is, and present ample evidence of people like them, even people not as accomplished as them, having succeeded in a big way. So you get was it called the President's Council book? That's what I wrote. I don't know what it's called now, that book that has 100,000. Okay, well, it's wrong in here, but bottom line, you know what I'm talking about. You just show them the book. There's people in there that aren't half as accomplished as you, Gary, that are making $500,000, $750,000, $1 million a year or more, and they're not even as good as you. Look, Gary, I know most of these people, and I already know that most of them don't have half the talent you have, and they're making this kind of money, and right now you're making 50 grand a year, and you're settling for that. Guess what? I'm not going to let you settle for that because you're too damn good to settle for that. You need to let me teach you how to do this thing, okay? That's the way I would talk to the guy. Just like that. Oh, until he did it. Of course, if he was a right person, I'd just keep calling him. Absolutely. But I would get permission. I'd say, Gary, if Gary says, let me just think about it. If I couldn't close him, which would be doubtful, right? But if for a reason I couldn't, right now, I'd say, Gary, look, I don't know what to say. I think so highly of you. I think you're an amazing person. I know that if you ever got involved with me in this and let me train you, you would be hugely successful. You would make 10 times minimum what you're making right now. I just want to have your permission to follow up with you and call you. And I don't want you to feel like I'm bothering you. I want you to feel like the reason this guy's calling me is because he thinks I'm really, really special and that I could be great at this. I want you to take it as a compliment, not as an annoyance, okay? Would you do that for me?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Hector,
Okay.
if I ever decide to do it, I promise you I'll do it with you. Okay, just right now, it's not a good time.
Okay, so that I'm going to follow up with you because I know the kind of business that we could develop together. I know I can help you get everything you ever wanted. I have no doubt about that. You have that kind of ability. I just want to have your permission to follow up with you on a regular basis. Is that okay? Okay, great. And then guess what? I'm going to follow up. I got his email. I'm going to send him I get a leaders bulletin. Let's say it shows my, if I'm, Neil Gerfine, 40, well, right now it's not done yet, but 42,000 in income. I'd send him that, highlight that area. Just want you to know, man, this is what you're missing, buddy. We got to get together. I mean, I'd be doing crap like that. I mean, that's what I would be doing, man. Yeah, exactly. Rick was afraid I was going to pass him. I was going to leave him in the dust. That's why the real reason he got in, that was it. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's the deal. Okay. So, but you got to let people know. You got to stay in contact. If I don't close you now, it doesn't mean I'm not going to close you. It means I'm not closing you now. It means you don't have enough information. It means I haven't presented in such a way to make you feel like you could do it yet. I just got to do a better job. That's all that means. It doesn't mean I'm not going to recruit you ever. It means I haven't recruited you yet. Right? You guys have tons of people like that. You should be calling and following up with and getting back with that you talked to 12 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago when you just got started, and things are totally different today. Go back and show them your track record. Show them what you've done. Show them, look at this one. Even some of you don't have big businesses. You have great lives. You have you control your life. You're not answering to anybody. You have your own business, right? You have the potential, right? I mean, Rick, you have the potential to make 20,000 or 40,000 next month. I mean, it's up to you. You've got that. You know what? Everybody they don't have that potential. When you have a job, you're on a fixed income, right? So you can show them all that. Question. Somebody who has a range. Yeah.
Thing that you can show people as well is, especially the smaller RVPs, is the lineage they're from. I mean, just the hierarchy that they're part of,
yeah,
the bloodline.
Absolutely. Just show that it's in the book. But you should just tab all of our people in our hierarchy. I mean, just tab everybody that makes over $500,000. There's like, I don't know how many. There's a bunch. I mean, 50 or something. I don't know what the number is. A lot of people.
Another thing that Daryl and Connie are really teaching a lot on right now is like when you have that situation with Gary is to steam him. Let me just, by the way, play a little game with you and do the steam. Find out who's the salesperson, who's a teacher, who's enthusiastic, who's ambitious, who's motivated. Now, if I could develop some of these people into a business for you, would you consider coming on board?
And another thing you could add to what I would add to that, I'd say, let me just tell you what this list is worth right here to you. Because if I could get those names from you, I'm going to tell you what this list right here, it's probably worth $1 million, $5 million, $10 million. I don't know. It's worth a lot of money. I know you don't understand that. You don't get that because you don't understand our business. But I'm telling you, this list of people is worth hundreds, if not millions of thousands of dollars to you if you got involved. Is there any reason that you could logically present to me that would tell me why you would disavow this list and not want that money? So let's get started, dude. Come on. What other alternative you have? What's your plan right now anyways? Okay, so and how's that working out so far? Yeah, and how's that working out for him? Great, because he's overriding you. And you're a sharp guy, and he knows it. So the bottom line is if he's paying you 50 grand or 100 grand a year, you're worth at least 4, 5, 10 times that amount, minimum, and it's the truth, okay? So the bottom line is close, okay? I mean, you close. Well, that's what you got to do. It's all about that, right? It's about selling, man. It just drives me crazy. Well, this is not a sale. Of course it's sales. Everything about Primerica is sales. Every single thing. Even when you recruit them, you gotta sell them on setting appointments. You gotta sell them on coming to the meetings. You gotta sell them on coming to the retreat. Like, a bunch of you aren't registered for the retreat, trying to sell you to come to the retreat. Even when you've been around and you know better, you still gotta be sold. It's incredible. It never stops. Yeah, exactly. Right? So what I would ask people, if you look at other people who've done it that aren't as good as you, why don't you think you could do it? So Gary, if you see other people that have done it and done it in a big way, why couldn't you do it? Of course you could do it, right? If you just let me teach you, right? If you just allow me to train you and coach you, if you just follow my example, there's absolutely no way I'll let you fail. You will not fail, okay? If you do what I tell you to do, you will not, okay? You will succeed. I don't know how big because I don't know how motivated you are, but if you do what I tell you, you're going to have success, okay? I'll be there at your side until you're totally confident, until you tell me, Gary, Hector, you're slowing me down. I don't need you. You're in my way. I'm going to be right there helping you every step of the way. So you don't need to be nervous about not knowing how to do it, because I'm going to coach you and show you until you tell me you don't need my help anymore, right? All right? So don't be worried about not knowing how this thing, maybe I'm not good at math or what are those dumb things that people say. The bottom line doesn't matter. I'm going to help you, right? Until then, you have my help every step of the way. By the way, do you think what I did here tonight was so complicated that with a little effort you couldn't learn how to do it? It's simple, right? That's it. What you saw is it. That's what we do, period. Just got to learn how to do that and do it over and over and over again. By the way, let me show you what you can earn when you do that, or you can give them an example of that, whatever, right? And Gary, by the way, did I come across pushy or obnoxious in any way to you tonight? Do you feel like I handle myself in a professional way? Okay. So when I train you, Gary, when you take me to see people that you care about, I'm going to conduct myself with exactly the same professionalism with the people you take me that I did with you tonight. So I don't want you to be nervous about taking me to see anybody. The people that you care about the most, I would never do anything that would embarrass you in any way, and I would never try to sell anyone you care about anything unless it was clearly in their best interest. Does that work for you? Okay, let's get going. And I would have that conversation with every new person, because that's a stumbling block for people setting appointments. I just handle a potential objection in advance so that it's no longer an objection, right? I want him to feel comfortable to take me to see everybody. I'm not going to be pushy. I'm not going to, be overbearing. And you don't need to be nervous about that. You're not going to get a call saying, hey, Mark, why the hell did you send me this Hector idiot here? And that's not going to happen. I guarantee you, because if that happened, you would never take me to see another person, would you? So it's not in my best interest to do that. So you need to tell people that right up front so that they feel more comfortable setting appointments, okay? And then the last thing, you got to master the new recruits' warm, hot market cool list and motivate them to go on 15 or more appointments. Now, I know most people aren't going to go on 15 appointments. You say, 15 appointments, that's a lot. Nobody ever goes on 15 appointments. But that should be your goal, all right? If you hit that, fantastic. If you don't hit that, then you want to get somewhere close to it, okay? The bottom line, if you have a high standard, and you keep shooting for that high standard, what do you think the optimum is? A woman raising a child by themselves, or a man raising their child by themselves, or a man and a woman raising a child together? The optimum is a man and a woman, assuming they're decent human beings. That's the best possible situation for a child, right? Okay? But that doesn't happen all the time, right? But does that mean we should stop shooting for that? As a society, we should say, oh, let's just forget it. Let's stop getting married. Let's just have children out of wedlock. That's not what we do. We still have an optimum situation, right? And in Primerica, those 15 appointments is optimum. Now, we're not going to do that with everybody, but what you got to do is you got to motivate people to do 15 appointments, because if you start getting some people to do it, you're going to start seeing some amazing things happen. Some of the people, like Gary McCormick, I don't know, I went on 25 appointments with him. Alan Souza, how many appointments do we go on, you think? Over 20. You name the person that I trained back in those days, right? We went on a lot of appointments. That's exactly right. They stayed. Absolutely. For the most part, not everybody, because nothing's 100%. But what we're talking about is ratios, you guys. Increasing the ratios, having better ratios. That's the whole point of this exercise, right? You must believe that if they join you, And if they listen to you and allow you to train them well, that they will succeed, and you and Primerica will absolutely change their lives in a positive ways. If you truly believe that people will believe that, if you believe, see, I believed when I was building business that if Gary got in business with me and he was a sharp guy and he listened to me, I believed it, that he would be successful and he would do great things and I could show him how to make a lot more money. I believed it. Now, I also at the same time knew he might not do that, but that's not in my control. My belief that if he listened to me doesn't change the fact that he would be successful if he did. If he doesn't do it, that's on him. That's not on me, right? But I still have that belief. So I would say that to everybody. Did I get everybody to do it? No. But I got obviously enough, right? I got some people to do it, all right? And that's why you got to keep focusing on the optimum, the best paid possible scenario, right? And tell them this is the optimum. Now, they may not do that. Like if you're training somebody, like physically train them, right, to try to get in good shape, you would give them a diet, optimum diet to try to lose weight on, a cardio workout and a weightlifting workout, and that would be optimum. Most people will never follow it exactly like that, right? They'll do one or the other, or maybe they'll skimp on the weight training or the cardio, or they'll cheat on the food or something like that. So they never do everything. But does that mean you don't tell them everything they should do? No, you still tell them. That's up to them whether they follow that plan or not. You can't control whether they follow the plan, but you've got to tell them this is your best chance for success, doing this. Okay? And you got to be clear about it, what that means, all right? So, and one of those things is mastering, getting their new recruits hot, warm, and cool market list and motivating them to go on 50 more. So you've got to get the list. The number one most important thing you must do with a new recruit is obtain their hot, warm, and cool list. Without that list, there's no way to properly field train them, and there's no good reason to recruit them and take their $99, because without a list, if I recruit Gary without a list, what are we going to do? There's nothing to do with him, right? There's nowhere to go. Well, I just took his $99. I could have put it in a mutual fund for him. What do I need? Why would I take his money? Stupid, right? The list is what's going to give him the chance to build a business. Not my list, his list. Okay? Without a list, he doesn't know anything about the business. He doesn't have really any value at all without a list. All right? And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just the way it is, and that's the way our business works. Okay? So their prospect list is who you're going to set appointments with, do a presentation with, overcome objections with, explain life insurance, mutual funds, and smart with, recruit across the kitchen table with, get their hot, warm, and cool market list with. That's who all the things I just went over is going to happen with that list. How I'm going to teach them that stuff is with the list. Okay? So you need to let them know that, all right? In other words, it's how you will teach them to effectively do Primerica so they can develop the ability to do it on their own and have a legitimate chance to build their own Primerica business. Since the new recruit is making such a small financial investment, $99, with the opportunity to make $1 million a year or more, all you do is see the financial independence book, right? You have $60 million earners now. A list of 25 or more people is a minuscule requirement for the potential to earn $1 million a year or more. Wouldn't you agree with that? That a 25 name list with the chance to make $1 million a year or more, what is that? $99 in a 25 name list with the potential to make $1 million a year. Come on. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's nothing, right? And considering think about this. It takes 1,600 hours to get a license to practice cosmetology in California. You guys know that? If you want to learn how to color hair, cut hair, perm hair, all that stuff, right? It takes 1,600 hours in California to get a license with the potential to make 20 to 50 grand a year. So coming up with the top 25 list and going on 15 appointments with the potential to earn $1 million a year or more is pretty reasonable. Don't you agree? So you tell a new recruit that. This is what it takes. All I'm saying is you got to have 25 names and go on 15 appointments with a chance to make $1 million a year. Look, you want to get your hair license is 1,600 hours. Means you got to show up 8 hours a day for how long does that take? I don't know. That's a lot of days, right? Anybody know? Anybody have their license or ever had their license here? You did? 11 months. 11 months of 8 hours a day, basically, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about 25 names, go on 15 appointments. It's nothing. Exactly. No pay while you're doing that. Yeah, here you get paid while you're doing that, right? So What I'm telling you, use a memory jogger or the 4-minute drill or whatever method you need to help people think of. You can do the what we were saying earlier, the STEAM method. It doesn't matter what you do. Just get the list. In order to really learn our business, 15 appointments in the right market will allow you to see enough different people with different needs, with different objections and concerns. This will allow you to be properly trained so that when you get licensed, you'll be able to see clients on your own and close sales and recruits with the added benefit of being confident enough to begin training your new recruits and helping them succeed as well. I always told people I recruited that my number one goal in field training them was to get them independent of me so they could confidently go and build their own business without being slowed down by my schedule. That's what I would tell people. I said, look, the bottom line is I want you to get trained so that you can go build your business without my help. You can go on your own and you won't be slowed down. Because, I use an example. Have you guys ever done that 3-legged race? Well, you got, right? Can you move very fast in a 3-legged race? No. So because you're tied to the other person. I said, so you ever done that? So that as long as I'm having to go with you, right? If I don't get you trained properly, I'm going to have to keep going with you and it's going to slow you down. If I cut you loose, how much faster can you run? A lot faster. That's why we need to get you trained so you can do that, Neil. You with me? So in addition, during the field training, I told them I was going to recruit 3 to 10 people that I intended for them to train at least some of them, assuming they were committed and being trained properly themselves. So i.e. 15 training points for me. So the bottom line, so if I'm going to recruit these people for you, these 3 to 4 or 5 people, I can't train all those people because I'm also training, Mark, and I'm complaining, Tim and Joe and Mark and all these people. So I can't train everybody. I have to get you trained so you can go train those people. That's the reason I want you to go on those appointments, right? You can help me. The last fundamental is where most people drop the ball. In Primerica, they don't proactively get the top 25 list and they don't get the new recruit to see the value of getting properly field trained. As a result, they don't retain many people. And more importantly, they don't develop very many competent field trainers who have the ability to become RVPs, because you're not going to develop RVPs unless your field trainers are really competent. They're not going to be an RVP ever, right? They got to get good. So if you're disciplined and focus intently on getting a new recruit's hot, warm market list and explain the advantage of them getting on 15 appointments during their field training, you will see a dramatic increase in the ratio of recruits to closed business. Plus, your field trainers will begin to make real money, and they'll grow, allowing more and more of them to believe they can become an RVP. If you want to retain a higher percentage of recruits, if you want your people to make more money, if you want to have tons of freedom, then you need to relentlessly focus on making sure that every motivated person in your base shop has mastered the 7 fundamentals. I have no doubt if you personally master these 7 fundamentals, and if you help your recruits master them, you're going to build a big business. And if you're objective, you must see how anyone who masters these fundamentals and actually works, i.e. prospects, sets appointments, and presents, can't possibly fail in Primerica. If I were you, I'd be working overtime to make sure every motivated person in my base shop masters every one of these 7 fundamentals. I just put that because I wanted to have that on tape, But the bottom line is, that's it. I don't know. I don't have anything else to offer today. That's about it. So thank you so much, man. We'll see you guys next month.
Yeah.